You're listening to Design You, sponsored by Studio 41, your one-stop podcast for everything home design. I'm your host, Tina Guziec, and each episode, we dive into the expertise of designers, contractors, and brand representatives who will share with you their secrets behind beautifully crafted interiors. Join us as we explore the latest trends, find fresh inspiration, and make your design projects a success, no matter how big or small. I am here today joined by Katie Pomeroy and Rob Gorlick. They are going to be talking today about some of the products that they have available here at the Studio 41 studios and at other locations around the general Chicagoland area. So, Katie, welcome. Rob, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Nice
Tina.
to be here.
Great to be here.
So, okay, Katie, tell me a little bit about what you do and the company that you work for.
So I work for American Bath Group, and we are a company that owns a lot of other companies. And so I am the regional sales manager for the decorative side of American Bath Group, which means 4 brands, that we take to showrooms in the Midwest. So that includes 9 states in the Midwest, including Illinois. And the 4 brands are Max, Maidstone, Swan, and Mr. Steam. And Rob is our local rep for both Maidstone and Mr. Steam.
So one of the things that we've talked a little bit about on the podcast in the past is just how reps get involved in the process and how they're kind of our when we're on the showroom floor and when we're talking to people and when we're trying to go through the process of asking questions, understanding the product, how reps, bring us all the information that we need. Rob, tell me a little bit about how that process works for your group.
Yeah, so basically we act as support for you, the sales force. Any questions that you have on the spot, I'm a good resource for you. I'm the local resource. If you need somebody who's hands-on, I can always come to you or to your customer and help either sell the product or in support in any way. If you need literature or anything like that, I'm also your go-to for that.
And so through us, that's a great way for designers to be able to get in touch with the product or specifications, especially with something like a bathtub. So one of the lines that we do a lot of work with you on is Maidstone. And I always think about Maidstone as the bathtub, the best bathtub line that you've never heard of, right?
Right.
Like whenever I tell somebody, I've got this great tub for you and it's a really great price, and I tell them it's Maidstone, they're like, who?
Yeah, right.
So let's talk about that one first. Tell me a little bit about Maidstone in general, like the history of the company a little bit, and what it's producing.
So Maidstone is an importer, and we bring tubs in from all over the world. It started, I don't know what year it started.
I'm not sure.
Let's say 15.
I'm sorry, 2012.
Okay, yeah. So that's about right.
Not that long ago.
Yeah, 13 years ago. And when it originally started, it was more of a resource where they were like taking old tubs out of buildings and reselling them. So clawfoots and things like that. And the demand became so high that they started to import those tubs and bring them in from other places. And then they realized all the stuff that they could be importing. And so they grew and grew and grew. The number of SKUs, I don't know the number of SKUs, but it is crazy. I mean, we do so many different things.
I feel like this last round of product that came in, so 2023-ish, right? That your catalog practically doubled.
Yeah.
It like what you used to have, some really good go-to tubs, and now you have some gorgeous tubs.
Yeah, I know.
Really beautiful.
Well, and that's what I think is so great about Maidstone is that there are so many things they're a great go-to for your kind of everyday freestanding tub, which is the majority of the tubs that we do are freestanding. In fact, all the tubs we do are freestanding tubs. And yet you can also do some really unique things. There's some fluted tubs and round tubs and things that have a lot of wow factor in a bathroom. So I feel like that's a good go-to.
You have an acrylic tub that you can actually see through that comes in blue and clear colors and smoke. I mean, not that I would ever want to be on the outside of that looking in at somebody sitting in that tub, but if you're going to put a tub in front of a big window that's like the money shot, right? That's this beautiful high-rise view or something like that. To have this translucent tub so that it's not interfering with the view.
Right.
how unique, what a unique offering that is.
Yeah, it is. It is really, those are beautiful tubs.
Yeah.
They really
are. And I know
are.
we have one on display at our Naperville location.
In the blue, I think.
In the blue.
Yep.
And it is, I mean, it's show-stopping.
Yeah.
Like you walk past, you're like, oh, that tub.
Yeah.
That's a really cool one.
That is a really cool tub. I have to say that it seems like every time somebody sees the translucent tub, the first thing they say is, oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in that tub.
Right.
But, you're in your own bathroom at home by yourself typically, so it's not usually a big deal.
Yeah. As long as no one accidentally walked in on you, you'd be fine,
right?
Looking at you right under the side. But it's really cool.
It is very cool.
And the other thing that I think was interesting about the tubs that have come out recently are the shapes. Like you have one that's kind of this organic one that kind of levitates almost. So it's like a hammock shaped tub.
Yeah.
So the actual bathtub sits between these two posts and floats. I mean, just extraordinary.
Extraordinary, yeah. I mean, again, really just a focal piece of a contemporary bathroom. We also have traditional tubs, but yes, a lot of things to choose from.
And from that perspective, from the traditional tub, you have these pedestal tubs that I think do a really nice job of taking the place of the clawfoot tub.
Yeah.
Because, people like the idea of them, but no plumber wants to actually walk that clawfoot tub and a cast iron tub up the stairs and reinforce the floor and put that tub in, right? And so everybody's looking for that aesthetic when they're doing those traditional, very, very, I like to call them little fussier tubs, right? The lines are a little fussier, but the pedestal that you have for your more traditional tubs kind of takes the place of the feet. Talk a little bit about that tub, because that's a very unique design feature.
Yeah, I think the pedestal tubs are really good looking. It does have a little bit more of a traditional characteristic, in my opinion, and it is just it is a pedestal that the top portion of the tub that you sit in actually sits on, and it does take the place of the feet so that you don't see underneath the tub anymore. Now it's completely enclosed underneath, which some people prefer. We also do acrylic clawfoot tubs and acrylic pedestal tubs. So when weight or logistics are needing to be considered, which oftentimes they are with a clawfoot tub, that's something to keep in mind too.
Well, and to your point, one of the things people don't think about when those tubs are on feet is that you can see underneath them.
Yeah.
So the plumbing has to go somewhere, right?
Right.
The drain doesn't, on the showroom floor, you're not seeing the drain go from the tub to the floor, but in your house, you're going to see the drain go from the tub to the floor. So the pedestal helps disguise that, so you're not looking at all the sausage being made. If you will, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, and I think that they still stay true to the inspiration of the design while kind of elevating it, and helps too if you want that transitional bending traditional kind of a look.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of the acrylic tubs that we offer that aren't pedestal or clawfoot, there's also a lot in that transitional kind of design element that really do offer something that might not, it doesn't have to look so sleek. You can still have a freestanding tub in a bathroom that doesn't have to be ultra modern.
Yeah, it has some softer lines, but it's still freestanding, so it feels modern. But it doesn't. It's not taking you so over the top that you now have to paint everything white.
Right. Yeah.
Change your whole aesthetic. Yeah. And the other nice thing that I think you do with Maidstone is you have one tub that comes in multiple sizes.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get it in 55, 57, 60, 60. And so you're not constrained, right? So you can like a tub, and we can show a tub to you that's 67 inches here, but you can have it at 55,
right? And
it comes very quickly. So you turn these tubs around fairly quickly.
We do. We have our stocking warehouses in Pennsylvania, and it is crazy the amount of tubs that ship out of there every day.
Yeah, and you can get matching waste and overflows. So those are the things that keep the water in and that let the water out in case you fill it too much.
Right.
And you can get them in white and get them to match your metals. And so, and it's not, for some tubs, that's an extra cost. For you guys, it comes with the tub.
It comes with the tub. And in most cases, it does come with the tub. And a lot of the overflows are without trimless overflows, a lot of them. But then you can do a white drain cover. You can pick from different finishes. lots of different options.
Yeah, I tend to go with the white, especially when we're doing some of those more exotic finishes, because matching a champagne bronze or a brushed vibrant bronze with somebody else's metal is hard.
Yeah.
And so if you have a white drain cover, and it goes away with the tub, and it's not even something you have to consider anymore.
Right.
So it's generally one of those little kind of easy buttons to push when you're trying to specify a tub that makes it a whole lot easier.
Agreed.
Today and tomorrow, because if somebody wants to change the color of their faucet tomorrow, they're not going to have to figure out how to change
White goes
the
with
drain
everything.
cover. Yeah, white goes with everything.
Yep.
The other thing I like about your tubs is you have quite a few options where you can have a freestanding tub with a deck-mounted faucet.
Yes.
So you don't have to do a floor-mounted tub filler. So you have, I don't know, a dozen or more styles.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
I would say that there's at least 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Correct. Right.
Yeah. And not only do you sell the tub, but if they wanted to, they could actually buy the whole kit from you. You can get it with a faucet kit.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes, we do offer faucetry as well. I mean, tubs is really our main focus. That's what we do. We do a lot of tubs. Half the catalog is freestanding tubs. But we also have faucets, and if you're doing a deck mount tub, you can make a package out of it in different finishes and with different faucet designs.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that surprises people when they come in, because they're probably at least in our part of the world here in northern Illinois, they're coming in. Their house was probably built either in the 60s or the 90s, right? And that's why they're coming in.
Right.
And a lot of the ones that were built in the 90s, they're pulling out that big corner jacuzzi that keep us in business, right? Let's get that big tub out. I haven't used it in 1,000 years,
Right.
and it's collecting dust, and so they want to put the freestanding tub in. And when I tell them that the faucet that's coming from the floor is going to cost them as much as the tub, it really gives them pause.
Right.
Right?
Sure.
So not only do you have those deck-mounted faucets, but you guys have quite a few faucets that are pretty well priced when they're coming from the floor, too.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. And of course, a faucet coming from the floor has a lot more finish.
Yeah.
It's
There's more
showing
brass.
there's more brass. So it is a more expensive way to do a tub filler, but we offer both high flow and not high flow in multiple finishes.
So talk about that. What's the difference between a high flow and a not high flow? Because a lot of people don't ask me that question, and they should.
Well, so I might actually have Rob talk about it a little bit, because we have I think we have 3 or 4 designs that are high flow, and they will flow up to 16.2 gallons per minute, but that's with 80 psi.
Uh-huh.
I don't think most homes have 80 psi.
No, I think most homes are around 60, right?
Yeah,
So
40 to
40
60.
to 60.
Yeah, so you're probably
and that's the
getting
pressure.
Right.
So that's the
Right.
pressure so everybody comes in and says, I want my tub filler or my shower head. I want it to have all kinds of pressure. And if they aren't starting from a pressure point in their own homes where they can even achieve it, it's not something that we can help much with.
right.
Correct.
It's not entirely up to the tub filler
Right.
or the
Right.
faucetry.
I mean, the one thing that the homeowner can do is add a booster. Now, there are boosts. Most commonly, water boosters are used in commercial applications, and that's because you're getting water from floor 1 to floor 33. So in residential applications, it's not so popular, but there are boosters out there. So if somebody wanted to really get more pressure, they could.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, the quickest and easiest way, although not the least expensive way and not without some work, to get your water pressure increased is to go to the main and increase your supply line for the water from 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
And so, we have the water that comes into the house, and then there's this whole distribution network that's taking the water all over the place. And if your
Right.
water is running through your house on a 1/2 inch pipe, it's limiting the amount of water that can get to your bathtub and can fill it.
True.
Right? So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you get those 3/4 inch supply lines in there so that you can get as much water as easily as possible.
Yeah.
Then you can check your pressure, and then you can think about buying a faucet that can actually fill your bathtub without you having to read a book and have a cup of tea while you wait.
Sure.
Right?
Right.
And so that's what a high flow faucet's going to do for you.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
And I would say that we sell more of our high flow freestanding tub fillers than we do our standards, for that reason.
Yeah.
There's enough design and enough finish options, and people are like, well, sure, I'll take the one that's going to fill it faster, even
And
if
so-
it's not a full 16.2 gallons per minute.
So if the difference in time, so like how long is a regular tub filler going to take to fill your standard 50-gallon tub versus a high flow?
That's a great question.
We're talking about a few minutes.
Okay.
That's all
Yeah.
we're talking about. I mean, everybody is familiar with waiting for water to fill a bathtub.
True.
But the difference between high flow and a low flow is only a couple minutes. at the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not going to be the end of the world.
No.
Some of the older faucets, I think, and one of the things we hear a lot when people are trying to retrofit those big corner jacuzzi tubs out, right, is I don't fill it up because, one, it drains my hot water tank, and two, I wait for it forever to fill. I can't ever get to the point where my bathtub's full.
Right.
And most of the faucets, even when they're standard flow faucets these days, are doing a better job than the one that you would have put in 30 or 40 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
For sure. And so Maidstone has faucets. They have sinks.
We
right?
have faucets and sinks and shower pans, and we do vessel bowls. We do console sinks, pedestal sinks. Different accessories. A lot of accessories for the maybe more retrofit things where people have a cast iron clawfoot tub already in place that they are not going to move, because that is not an easy thing to do. And so, the shower curtain rings and all the parts and pieces and the faucetry that goes with that as well, in varying finishes. We do high back cast iron sinks. We can do custom paint on those sinks. We do fire clay kitchen sinks.
So custom paint on the on the cast iron sink. So what does that look like? How custom is custom?
Custom is literally any major paint manufacturer's paint color and finish can be ordered on any, you can do it on bathtubs also, whether they're acrylic or cast iron, as long as there's a finishing point. So like a rounded edge or something where the paint can stop. If it's a really contemporary tub with just a clean side, there's no place for the paint to stop. Cleanly.
And so people are painting the outsides
Paint
of the
the
tub,
outside, right.
but they're leaving the inside of the tubs white.
Yep, the inside stays white, and it's usually a gloss acrylic, and then the outside of the tub gets painted, and it can be so customized and personalized, which I think is a really nice option. I see it a lot with the high back cast iron sinks, because those have become such a big design element now. They're not just for utility anymore. They really are being used, I think, in all sorts of places. And I've seen where people will put a blue or some kind of a great teal or aqua on the outside of that, because it fits the design of what they're doing, and it makes it a lot more custom.
And those tend to be like in those more farmhouse type design vignettes, right? And so they're using them either in the utility room, in the laundry room, sometimes as a kitchen sink, and then they're bringing in sometimes those 1950s colors, right? And kind of popping them in.
And I've seen them in kids' baths, and like I've a couple things that I've seen where, like a bunkhouse or something like that, where it's just full of bunks for kids, and there's a couple of bathrooms in there. Maybe there's a boys and a girls bath or something, and they put these long high back sinks in there and customize them with custom paint.
That's kind of a fun idea,
Yeah.
like for like a vacation home or a
Yeah,
beach house
absolutely.
or something like that. That'd be kind of a fun idea.
Yeah.
Kind of taking those fun elements and repurposing them in different ways.
And I've seen a lot of people do the gray or the black as their custom paint. And I mean, fine, but you can custom paint any color,
Pick off black.
Pick something,
charcoal.
pick something cool, pick something cool.
Be bold. How about plum?
Yeah, the ones I've seen that are, one person did like a Tiffany blue that looked so beautiful, or like a sage green, that kind of stuff. It really does. It's a very cool
stunning
design element.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. And your shower bases that you're offering, because I think the industry in general, we see fewer shower bases out there because people are tiling now.
Right.
Waterproofing has changed, so tiling has changed. And but I think what's interesting about your shower bases is that they're like you can make them zero threshold, so people can roll in and out of them if you wanted to, right?
Yeah, I think we're going to be changing them a little bit this year, so we're going to have a new source for a lot of them. But the mineral cast, I do think that they're
very low
zero
profile.
threshold. Yeah, low profile.
They're very low profile, and so for those folks who are trying to redecorate their bathrooms and age in place,
right,
that's a good solution.
Yes,
right. And they're also, they have some texture to them, because those same people are also very concerned about slipping in the shower.
Right, of course.
We want to make sure that we've given them as much traction as possible to make sure they're as safe as possible.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I do hear a lot are those aging in place design that people come in for, and there's a lot of things to consider with that, and your shower bases, I think, solve for those concerns very nicely.
Yeah, agreed.
So when you're in the market for those kind of products, this is a good solution.
Yep.
So one of the other lines that you do is Mr. Steam too.
Mr.
Right?
Steam. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Mr. Steam sounds like it is, right? It's
Yes.
steam, right?
It's steam.
Yeah.
That's
Steam.
it.
Yeah.
Yep. Steam elements to create a steam shower in your shower at home.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are used to
It's like
steaming.
heaven on earth.
Yeah,
Oh my
absolutely.
gosh, it's so fabulous.
It is fabulous.
Yeah.
A lot of people are used to it at the gym or,
Yeah.
a spa, but you can do it at home.
Yeah, and you can incorporate the eucalyptus and the aromatherapy
Yes.
into the whole process. And I think one of the things that makes, from a designer's perspective, makes it easy is that it's an easy product to specify.
Yes.
Because a lot of the steam products that are out there are complicated, right? Mr. Steam has gone out of their way to make it simple to buy and sell. Yeah. So talk a little bit about your Butler packages.
Yeah. So and that's how we that's where we distinguish ourselves. I think Mr. Steam versus the competition is just making it easy from selling it all the way to installing it. But the Butler packages, it basically comprises of your control and your steam head, which goes in the shower, which is the only thing that the customer sees, and then the automatic flushing device that we invented,
which is a really big deal.
What
does that do?
It is. So water fills into the steam generator to create the steam. But when you're done, you don't want that water sitting in that generator. So what the auto flush does is automatically flushes it.
No mold.
No mold. Yeah. And so what you do is you ensure fresh water for your steam shower for every steam bathing experience.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't eliminate the scale buildup, but it definitely helps to minimize it, because anytime you're boiling water, there will be sediment involved. But by flushing it after every use, you're minimizing the amount of scale buildup that would incur in that generator versus not flushing it every time.
So when people do have that scale buildup around their generator, what's the best way to clean it?
Yeah. Actually a yearly checkup by a professional, licensed and bonded and insured plumber is the best way to
licensed, bonded, insured.
Exactly.
Caveat. Right? Yeah.
That is the best
Not
way.
Joe down the street, but Joe the plumber.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the best way to ensure that to take off the scale. And you're talking about either maybe brushing it off using a brush, or there might be some kind of solution.
Like the same kind that you use in a coffee pot, right? It's
exactly.
Very
It's very similar.
So if you have a Keurig, if you clean out your
sure.
Keurig once a year, you could at the same time clean out your Mr. Steam generator.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. An easy thing to think about is that the steam generator is basically a water heater. What you're doing for your water heater on a yearly basis, you can do for your steam generator as well. The only difference is we're boiling the water instead of just heating it up. So.
And then part of that Butler package is also that drip pan, which is an important thing too, because a lot of times when people are coming in after some period of time where they've had their own steam generator and now they have to get a new one, they're getting a new one because they didn't have a drip pan underneath the generator, and it corroded and or leaked. And that's a problem. So as part of that whole package that you can buy from Mr. Steam, you get all the parts and pieces that you need to install it properly.
Exactly. Yeah. And then so obviously all those pieces can be ordered a la carte, but having a package makes it a lot easier to sell it, and also for the homeowner or the installer when they get it on site, it just comes in one master box, all those pieces, so they all come together. So it's really simple, really easy.
Yeah. And then you've kind of jumped into technology too with these very fancy, you could sit and watch your Netflix shows while you're steaming kind of screens,
exactly.
Right? So you can upgrade that to the ultimate never having to leave your house technology.
Or your shower, really.
Or your shower. You could live forever in your shower.
Yeah.
You could DoorDash to your shower.
The new touchscreen control has 8 built-in apps: Netflix, Spotify, ESPN, Audible. And there's 4 others, obviously.
So I really hope at some point somebody's going to be listening to this podcast on Spotify in their shower.
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, there would be a lot of worlds colliding. Yeah.
And that just, I guess that also plays into all the therapies that we offer. So the aromatherapy, the chromotherapy, the audio therapy, and now we have on the touchscreen control, we have the video therapy, I guess.
Right. Oh gosh, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
That's true.
Wellness is the key word for 2025. A lot of the people that
Yes.
have come in today are talking about those therapies, and I know some of the talks that I've been giving out there in the world at some of the professional organizations have been really around wellness.
Yep.
Yes.
And about how to design for wellness, how to achieve that. People used to come in and show me the same white and gray bathroom from HGTV and say, I want this one. Now people come in and say, I want the spa.
Right.
Right? Everybody wants a spa in
Right.
their house. And I have to ask which one, because if you've been to the Four Seasons, it's different than the Peninsula, it's different than Canyon Ranch.
That's
So which
true.
one is it?
Right.
And everybody has that one picture in their head, but those therapies that you're offering, those in the steam,
Yeah.
and some of the other things that you're offering now too, aren't you guys working your way into the sauna world as well?
That's correct. Yeah, we So Mr. Steam was in the sauna game for years. They got out of it maybe around '09, but they're back in. So we're soft launching as we speak, and some indoor modular saunas and some outdoor saunas as well too. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, so you can, especially in some of the bigger homes that are new construction homes these days, we're seeing these kind of wings, if you will, of
Wellness.
of wellness wings, and they have a sauna, they have a steam, they have a very, sometimes they have a cold plunge tub,
Right.
They have a full gym like spa like experience, and it's off their master bedroom and around the corner from their closet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There is a lot of that, and I think that the saunas are only going to help us in that arena.
Yeah, and are those outdoor saunas good for a climate like ours? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can be cold up here in the middle of January.
Yes,
and
yes. In fact,
run out in
that's
the
really
snow.
what they're designed for. Is for to be used outdoors, and to our climate is the perfect place for it. Really, I mean, you've got two different designs, one that's more square and one that's more round, almost like a barrel, and it's cool. It's very cool. It looks really nice. I've seen them in Michigan, when I've done home
Okay.
tours and stuff
Okay.
there. I've seen that's become more popular in Michigan, and I think it'll be popular here too.
Yeah, we get asked for saunas quite a bit here. So
Good.
I haven't had too many outdoor sauna experiences yet, but lots of indoor, and to have the modular is nice because you can really kind of fit it into whatever corner little space that you have.
Right.
And there was a period of time there where we didn't have vendors who were doing any saunas for a while. We were like, everybody was kind of coming out with the new stuff, and nobody had wanted to sell their old stuff, so everybody stopped. And I had a couple customers come in and they were looking for it. We didn't have it, but now we have quite a few options,
Yeah,
including
good.
yours.
Good.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, folks, for coming in
thank
today. I
you.
really
Thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much. Yeah,
this
this
has
was
been
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tina.
Thanks, Tina.